CCL All-Star break is over. Crawdads are going to be back in action shortly here from Danville, California at Monte Vista High School here in the foothills in Danville, just off of Stone Valley. Beautiful day for baseball. Hopefully it stays that way. Not really much wind to speak of, which has been something that's been going on here at Monte Vista quite a bit this season. But the Crawdads are going to be hosting the Solano Mudcats. The Crawdads come in 20-16 overall with a 13-11 record in CCL North play. The Mudcats 13-20 in all of their games, 11-14 in CCL North Division play themselves. The Crawdads are in second place, 5 games back of first place Healdsburg, and half a game in front of third place Lincoln. Crawdads just 2-8 in their last 10 and 4-6 in their last 10 divisional games. So hopefully the couple of days off, the Crawdads were able to send 6 men down to Compton, California at the MLB Urban Youth Academy to display their skills for all the scouts down there for the CCL Showcase game. But hopefully a few days off is good for this Crawdads team, and they're able to finish the season strong. There's just 9 games left after today. They are all in CCL North play, so every game important here down the stretch for the Crawdads. Good thing for the Dads today is Ryan Fleming's going to be on the mound, comes in with a 2-1 record, 4.26 ERA, 25 1/3 innings pitched. So he'll be making his 6th start and try to get the Crawdads deep into this game, hopefully with the lead for manager Brant Cummings. He wants this team to maybe get on a little hot streak once again, at least got to finish, you would think, above 500 over these next 9-10 games here. There is a potential makeup game against Healdsburg, but we don't know if that's actually going to be played or not. I think if the Crawdads do need that game to get into the playoffs, they will play it. If they don't, they will say, to heck with it, and let's wipe that one off the schedule. But the Crawdads really need to take care of business against the Solano Mudcats, a team that they have beaten 4 out of the 6 times they have played so far this summer. So the Crawdads 4-2. That you'd think that's a good thing, but occasionally these Mudcats will come out and shock some of the best teams in the CCL. The Crawdads were one of the best teams about a couple of weeks ago. No one was hotter, but they have been on a prolonged cold stretch here. The national anthem about to play through the stadium here. We'll have all the starting lineups for you when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national
National anthem in the books. Getting ready for first pitch here in Danville, California. Alonda Say joined by Austin Oda. We will have all the play-by-play action for you this afternoon. The Crawdads in second place, looking to stay there and maybe get a little breathing room as well. The lineup that Ryan Fleming is going to have to face today for the Mudcats: Michael Benavidez in left field leading off. Kenny DeSalle, the center fielder, batting second. The designated hitter is Cole Santander, and he's batting third. Trey Topping, the catcher today, batting cleanup. Jared Wood, the shortstop, batting fifth. Tasso Foster, the second baseman, batting sixth. Noah Garcia at first, batting seventh. Jaden Jones over at the hot corner, the third baseman, batting eighth. And Jackson Bates in right field, batting ninth. Their starter today will be Drew Stapleton. Comes in 1-5 with a 5.93 ERA. This will be his 8th start of the season for the Crawdads. Their lineup pretty similar to what we've been seeing recently, except for no Brome. Brome not in the lineup today, but Coleman Schmidt leading off, of course. He's in center. Tyson Corio, the second baseman, batting second. Ryan Ellis over at third. Still no Matt King. He's batting third. Brian DeRoff, the first baseman, batting fourth. Kavares Tears, the designated hitter, batting fifth. Joey Donnelly in left, batting sixth. McKenna, the catcher, batting seventh. Casey Cummings batting eighth. He's in right. Jude Putz, the shortstop, batting ninth. So those are the lineups today for both teams. The Crawdads, as we mentioned, 2-8 over their last 10. Solano is 5-5 in their last 10, 4-6 in their last 10 divisional games. So 9 more games for the Crawdads here. And they're going to get it started off at home on this Friday afternoon on July 22nd, 2022. First pitch scheduled right around 4:05, 4 o'clock actually. It's right around 4:06 right now, but just getting ready here. The umpires today, it's going to be Matt Bolus behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Mike Stankiewicz over on the right side. He's the first base umpire. And Eric Thompson at third. So today's ball game just about to get started. Fleming, the righty, done warming up. And Michael Benavidez, who's hitting .250 with 2 home runs and 12 RBIs, is about to step into the batter's box. Oh, the first pitch from Fleming, and it's hit high and deep to left field. Running back is Donnelly, and the Mudcats are going to get started off with a bang. The third home run of the season for Michael Benavidez. 1 pitch, 1 run. The Mudcats jumping out in front here on the first pitch. It is 1-0. Michael Benavidez, way to start things off for Solano.
Well, you have to come into the game ready from the first pitch, and Benavidez was ready. Fleming, it didn't seem was as much so, just left that sinker right over the heart of the plate, and Benavidez took it out.
You can hear how fired up Solano is right now. Solano has just won twice against the Crawdads, but this is a very vulnerable Crawdads team right now, Austin. I mean, just have been scuffling over the past 10 games and really since that road trip down south. So after the big home run, the third of the season for Benavidez, here's Kenny DeSalle, the number 2 hitter, and he hits the first pitch he sees out into center, but right at Coleman Schmidt, who takes a few steps to his left, and there's one away.
I think the worst thing you can need as a baseball team is come in needing a win, and the Crawdads come in needing a win against a Solano team that really has nothing to lose. This is a Solano team that just record-wise is well out of that last spot into the playoffs, and now, Solano's just playing free.
No, Solano, they're right in the thick of things. As here's a slider from Fleming. Count 1-0, but DeSalle came into that last at-bat, hitting .256, a home run, 18 RBIs. Here's Cole Santander, the designated hitter this afternoon for the Mudcats, number 3 hitter, .250, 2 home runs, 12 driven in. And this pitch is lined hard into center. Schmidt going into a dive, but it kicks off of his glove. Nice effort from Schmidt. That'll be a single for Santander. So it's 1-0 here in the top of the first. If you're just joining us a little bit late, Michael Benavidez saw the first pitch from Ryan Fleming and just made the ball fly out of the ballpark over the left field fence. It was a no-doubter, so it's 1-0 Solano. Here comes Trey Topping, the catcher, hitting fourth for Solano. He's hitting .265, no home runs, 6 RBIs. Santander over at first. Righty against righty, the pitch from Fleming, and there's that breaking ball, hits the inside. Part of the zone, the count 0-1. Just one out here. Santander off of first. The second pitch, that breaking pitch once again. So 2 straight breakers from Fleming in the count 0-2 to Trey Topping. The 0-2 pitch, and this is hit on the ground over to the second baseman. Corio scoops it up, tosses over to Putz at second for 1, and they get the double play back at first. Beautiful way to turn it. 4-6-3. The Crawdads able to get a double play, but not before Michael Benavidez on the very first pitch of today's ballgame at 4:07 p.m. was able to go yard and give the Mudcats a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the first when we come back. The Crawdads already in a hole here, but it's just a run. And we know this team is offensively potent, so we will see what they can do when they come up to bat here on the Crawdads streaming network.
And leading off for Walnut, the center fielder, number 27, Coleman.
Bottom of the first inning, the Mudcats lead 1-0. It is Coleman Schmidt who's going to lead things off for the Crawdads on the mound for the Solano Mudcats, who are up. It's Drew Stapleton. So the first three, Schmidt, Corio, then Ellis. First pitch to Schmidt, misses high and in. Stapleton 1-5 with a 5.93 ERA. This is his 8th start of the summer. 30 1/3 innings pitched. Schmidt waiting on the second pitch, sees it, hits this very high into fair territory right behind first base on the outfield grass, and it's going to be fielded by the second baseman, Tasso Foster, for out number 1. Now the defense for the Solano Mudcats, it's topping behind the plate. Garcia over at first. Foster, who just made the catch, is the second baseman. Jaden Jones at third. Jared Wood, the shortstop. Michael Benavidez, who has a home run already, his first home run of the season. Had a home run, and the first pitch of today's ball game is in left. Kenny DeSalle in center. Jackson Bates at right. First pitch here to Tyson Corio, the switch hitting second baseman for the Crawdads, is in there for a strike. The count 0-1. Schmidt, who had just been on a tear coming into this game, had a couple of home runs recently. Second pitch misses in, but Schmidt with 9 home runs, 32 driven in. He was an all-star. Went to that showcase game, batting .348, along with those other numbers. Corio hitting .258, 3 home runs and 15 RBIs. The 1-1 pitch misses away. And the count 2-1.
Well, you want to talk about guys coming in on a tear. How about this guy, Tyson Corio, in his last week of games, 467 with a 1556 OPS, pair of home runs, 7 batted in.
2-1 pitch. That is fouled. But, yeah, you mentioned he's just been on a hot streak, and a grand slam really helps things, too.
2 in the same game for Schmidt and Corio.
That was amazing. 2 grand slams in the same ball game. And a big victory over the Prune Packers for the Crawdads. A 2-2 pitch to Corio. This misses high, and the count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Solano in 4th place. Couple of games behind the Crawdads. The payoff pitch, this misses high, and that's a walk of Tyson Corio. So after the pop-out of Coleman Schmidt, Corio displays a good eye, and he's able to draw the walk. So Ryan Ellis, another all-star prospect who was down there at the MLB Urban Youth Academy. He was also mic'd up on the broadcast as well on Valley Sports. He'll step in, and he's hitting .331, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. He's had a great season playing at third base today.
Well, one thing you mentioned before the game is that no Matt King today. Matt King is not with the team anymore. He got injured and back in San Antonio.
Pitch misses low, the count 1-0. So King, who is really a mainstay over there at third after Jacob Craig's exodus, you had King usually at third and Ellis over at short, but now it's Jude Putz over at short. A pickoff move, Stapleton over to Garcia, nothing doing. But a little bit of a different look here on the left side. Jude Putz is going to have to get those errors under control, of course. It's going to be him at short, you would figure, the rest of the way. 1-0 pitch to Corio. Misses, and the count 2-0.
And you have to think that for a guy like Matt King, who played a full fall last fall with his team in San Antonio, then a full spring, made all-conference freshman team, and now going to play a full summer, it's tough having absolutely no breaks.
2-0 pitch to Corio, and this, check that, to Ellis. Corio off at first, but the pitch to Ellis misses high, and Ellis ahead 3 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Matt King. Gonna miss him over at third, and another move over to first. Trying to get the tag down in time was Garcia, but sliding in safely is Tyson Corio. And really the trouble for the Crawdads has been offensive consistency over the last 10, as here's a get-me-over strike from Stapleton. Count 3-1. The Crawdads playing in their red jerseys, white pants, the Mudcats in the dark blue tops and the gray pants. The 3-1 pitch, and that's in there as well. Ellis going to take a walk outside of the batter's box, readjust the gloves, as he'll see a payoff pitch. Corio did a good job of drawing a walk. This is a dangerous situation to be in with Ellis if you're Stapleton, as he makes another toss over to first. Ellis the lefty, Stapleton the righty. Stapleton has pitched twice against, 3 times actually against the Crawdads this season. All 3 of them losses. There's the pitch to Ellis, and it misses. And there's a walk for Ellis. There was still a throw from the catcher topping over to second, but it didn't matter. So back-to-back walks issued by Stapleton. And here comes the Crawdads cleanup hitter, another all-star, Brian Duroff.
Yeah, there were 6 all-stars on this Crawdads team. It was great to see, especially for a team that is still relatively new to the league. They're not having the same trouble acclimating that a team like Sonoma maybe is having. These Crawdads, I mean, they can play, and I think it showed with the 6 all-stars. And even then, you could say there were a couple guys that were snubbed.
Stapleton going to have to work with runners on here. There's a fastball over the heart of the plate. And the count 0-1 to Duroff. Duroff hitting .328, couple of home runs, 20 driven in. But yeah, I mean, there's a few guys on this team. You figure, wonder why he didn't get the nod, but 6 is a lot to send. So good for Walnut Creek as Duroff gets into this ball. It's lined into center. And DeSalle takes a few steps to his left, fields it. Tagging up is Corio. He slides in safely to third. The Crawdads have runners at the corners now with 2 away.
I think you could have made a case that Ryan Fleming could have made the All-Star game, especially before that last start against Healdsburg. And then conversely, then Fisher Johnson to make that All-Star game after his dominant start against Healdsburg. Of course, Hollis Fanning, and then out of the bullpen, Idris Azani has just been lights out. And Seth Higdon, before he went home, I'm sure was in that same camp.
I was just going to mention Seth Higdon. I got a chance to talk to manager Brant Cummings today before the game. He said if Higgy was still here, he definitely would have been one of those guys who would have went. So here's Kavares Tears, a designated hitter, now hitting .247, 3 home runs, 19 RBIs. Throw over to first. But back in safely is Ryan Ellis standing up. Kavares Tears has a chance here with 2 away. Corio over at third. Crawdads got to start driving runners in, especially when they got them in scoring position. And there's a pitch that Kavares lets go by for a strike. Count 0-1.
You know that Tears is sitting fastball. Smart move there by Stapleton to start him off with the first pitch changeup.
And we've seen quite a few pitchers, especially ones who are familiar with Kavares Tears, go to more of the off-speed stuff. And the runner goes from first, and that's a strike. And now there will be 2 runners in scoring position as Ellis just gets the free pass over to second. No throw from Trey Topping, but the count 0-2.
So with that, Brian Ellis now leads the CCL. Tied for the
Tied.
CCL league with Kenny DeSalle. Maybe a little bit of internal competition there between DeSalle and Ellis.
DeSalle, Ellis,
game.
and Coleman Schmidt also up there. The 0-2 pitch to Kavares. He gets under this and hits it very high. That's going to land foul. Wow, right up there against the cage. And Trey Topping took a tumble over near the backstop. He's all right. No worse for wear. Looked like that maybe was just going to come in and
nice effort there by Trey Topping.
Fall into the bleachers. Yeah, it was a great effort. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 runners in position to score. Tyson Corio at third, Ryan Ellis after the steal over at second. And Tears waiting on an 0-2 pitch. Going to need to be swing happy here. He's going to need to fight. Stapleton might go off speed on him again, and I think Kavares' best tactic here, Austin, maybe just to try to foul as many pitches away, maybe a Ryan Brome approach, although we haven't really seen Tears shorten that swing up too many times this summer.
Yeah, he's not a guy that likes to keep it short. He likes really getting that swing big and long and driving the ball, but, I mean, he doesn't want to strike out here.
So the Mudcats ahead 1-0. Michael Benavidez with huge home run. They have an early lead, but with 2 away and 2 strikes up on the board to Kavares Tears, he has a chance to drive one in, see what he does. The 0-2 pitch on the way, and it misses high and outside. The count of 2 strikes to Tears. Tears has had some big moments this season for the Crawdads. Had a massive game against the West Coast Kings. Also had a walk-off sacrifice fly against the Prune Packers and the 1-2 pitch, and Tears just able to tap it foul into the backstop. Count stays 1-2. But Tears is one of those guys, supremely talented, a lot of physical attributes, and just an elongated swing, and that's been what has kind of troubled him this summer, have been the strikeout numbers, the swing and miss rate. The 1-2 pitch to Tears, and he hits this high into left field. Running back on it is Benavidez to the warning track, and he leaps at the wall and makes the grab. Oh, Benavidez taking away at least a double there from Tears. I don't know if that ball was going to leave the park, but Benavidez so far with a solo shot to give the Mudcats the lead, and then a beautiful leaping play there at the fence to rob Kavares Tears of at least a double and some runs for the Crawdads. So he's been the reason that the Mudcats are out in front 1-0. Top of the second coming up. The Crawdads able to get a couple of men into scoring position, Ellis and Corio, but that is it. Great play by Benavidez. It is still 1-0 Mudcats. Top of the second coming up here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Shortstop number 12, Jared Wood.
Top of the second inning, 5, 6, and 7 for the Mudcats, who lead 1-0. First pitch here from Fleming misses inside. It's Wood, Foster, and Garcia. Jared Wood hitting .225, 12 driven in. And the righty Fleming, a good fastball there that is fought off and back into the cage. Count 1-1. Alondise along with Austin Oda here. Benavidez was able to have a monster home run in the top of the first, and then most recently robbing Kavares Tears of at least a double, maybe a ball that would have eclipsed the fencing out there and left with a couple of runners on. Oh, that is why it is 1-0 right now, Solano. The count 2-1 after Fleming's miss high. And this pitch fouled away, so now a couple of strikes up there. The count even at 2-2.
I think it would be smart for Ryan Fleming to kind of start pitching backwards in this game. I think early on he was clearly going first pitch fastball, and Solano ambushed that, but now we've seen him go to that slurve early in the count more.
2-2 pitch, and there's that slurve, and a strikeout for Ryan Fleming. Down goes Jared Wood swinging. And just like you predicted there, Austin, you figure go to that slurve more often. That's the 27th strikeout that Fleming has recorded for the Crawdads.
Well, he can start with the slurve, but he can also finish a count with it too. Looks pretty good there.
No, it looked great. And when that pitch is online for Fleming, he's almost untouchable. And there's a fastball that is fouled out of play. The count 0-1 to Tasso Foster, the second baseman for the Mudcats this afternoon, hitting a paltry 160. No home runs, 5 RBIs. And the 0-1 to Foster, and painting the outside black with a fastball is Fleming, in the count 0-2.
So the thing about Tasso Foster.
0-2 pitch, and there's that slurve again. Back-to-back punch-outs, one swinging and now one looking for Ryan Fleming.
Well, this doesn't show me show that I know anything. But the thing about Tasso Foster is he's going to take a lot of walks. I was with the Solano Mudcats broadcaster Jonah Krell, and he used the death, taxes, and Tasso Foster taking walks line, as I do with Ryan Brome.
Yeah, Ryan Brome. Here is Noah Garcia, not pitching today, playing at first base instead. As the first pitch, a slurve misses low, the count 1-0. We've seen Garcia do it all against the Crawdads for the Mudcats.
And really, he didn't look bad on the bump.
A 1-0 pitch. This is chopped over to DeRoff, who's just going to take it to first base himself. So the first baseman, DeRoff, makes a nice, easy pick there and gets out number 3. So a clean inning, a much better inning from Ryan Fleming, able to get through 5, 6, and 7 in order, but it is still 1-0 Solano. Bottom of the second coming up here on the Crawdads streaming network. Joey Donnelly going to lead things off here for the Crawdads in the bottom of the second. Crawdads trail by 1. It is 1-0 Solano. Stapleton on the mound for the Mudcats. And the first pitch to the lefty Donnelly from the righty Stapleton is swung through for strike number 1. Changing things up again there. Not going to the fastball was Stapleton. And the 0-1 pitch to Donnelly, and this comes in and hits the 2-10, hitting Donnelly right on the knee of the lead leg. And he's going to walk over to first, see if he eventually breaks into a jog, and there he goes.
I feel like we've seen Joey Donnelly get hit so much recently. Like, I don't know if he just crowds the plate, but it feels like every back foot breaking ball is taken literally and hits, like, the back foot or the back leg.
Back foot, back leg, the kneecap. I mean, he's been getting beat up. He's in left field today for the Crawdads. Still stuck on 4 home runs, 18 RBIs, and this pitch misses outside to the lefty hitting catcher, Andrew McKenna, who's hitting 179, no home runs, 4 driven in. And Stapleton throws over to Garcia at first. A bit of a low throw, but the tall and lanky Garcia able to reach down and get it, so it doesn't get by him. And Donnelly has to stay parked over at first base. The count 1-0 to McKenna. And Donnelly's going to take off for second. The throw from the catcher Topping over to the covering shortstop Wood is not close, and Donnelly has a steal of second base. Topping, I thought he had a chance there. He popped up pretty quickly. But through to the left side of the bag from our perspective, and now Donnelly over at second. Another pitch to McKenna coming up here. Looking back at second a couple of times is Stapleton, and there he paints a fastball for a strike. The count, 2 balls and a strike here to McKenna. Great sign out of Donnelly, though. Able to use his athletic ability to nab a base. With nobody out here for the Crawdads, get himself in scoring position. The 2-1 to McKenna. McKenna hits this into center. Coming into shallow center to make the catch is DeSalle, and faking the tag up is Donnelly, but that ball not hit deep enough for him to advance, so he'll stay over at second, and there's 1 away.
I think you forgot. You said faking the tag is Donnelly. I think you missed the noted speed demon, Joey Donnelly. I mean, where did that come from?
Well, he
just caught him off guard.
I think he did, and it was a pitch that missed, and Topping popped up so quickly to make that throw, but the throw was offline to the shortstop Wood, and Donnelly ends up on second. So McKenna out. Here's Casey Cummings, the right fielder for the Crawdads, hitting 170, no home runs, 3 driven in. Pitch misses, the count 1-0. Cummings, another guy who's been seeing some increased playing time for the Crawdads. Pretty much the roster, you would think that if they do make the playoffs, is going to be there, at least on paper, as this pitch hits the inside corner for strike 1. Pretty much the roster we're going to see going forward if this team does qualify for the playoffs down in San Luis Obispo, Austin. I know they're still trying to add a few players before the deadline tonight.
Today is the last day, yeah. You never know. Brandt is known for making those last-minute moves.
The pitch to Cummings, and he was able to get the bat on the ball, but it's foul. Count 1-2. Crawdads with their second straight inning with at least 1 runner in scoring position. They're down by a run. It's 1-0 Solano. The 1-2 pitch, and Cummings laces this, but over to the leaping Wood at shortstop, who then gets the throw over to second to double up Donnelly. An outstanding play made by Jared Wood at short. That's kind of the way things have gone early here for the Crawdads. Kavara's Tears back in the bottom of the first has what could have been a home run, robbed by Michael Benavidez, and now Jared Wood skying to get a pretty well-hit ball from Casey Cummings and registering a double play, an unconventional double play. So Crawdads able to get Donnelly over to second, but that is it. It is still 1-0 Mudcats. Top of the third coming up when we return here on the Crawdads streaming network.
for Solano. Third baseman, number 18, Jaden Jones.
1-0 Solano. The Mudcats ahead of the home team Crawdads here in Danville, California. Jaden Jones leading things off. It's Jones, Bates, and Benavidez, 8, 9, and 1. First pitch. Good one from Fleming. Gets a swinging strike in the count 0-1. Jones hitting .239, a home run, 12 driven in, playing over at third today. And this pitch is hit over to the third baseman, Ellis, who takes a few hops and then throws it over to first for out number 1. Kind of pump faked a little bit there, did Ellis, and that's usually not. You know what the difference was with that play? He wasn't running while making the throw.
Yeah,
Austin.
he didn't have to get the short hop like it seems like he does every single play he's over at the hot corner. But it was nice to see Fleming go 2 straight slurves. The first one off the outside, and then the second one more of a called strike if it had been taken. Got the rollover.
Jackson Bates going to see the first pitch of the afternoon for his first trip to the plate, and it's a good slurve from Fleming. The count 0-1. Bates batting in the 9 spot, hitting just 0.47. And another breaking ball from Fleming. The count 0-2.
27 strikeouts and 43 at-bats, only 2 hits.
The 0-2 pitch, and there's a slurve that swung on and missed, and Fleming gets his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
So just tough going for Jackson Bates right now at the plate.
Fleming now at 29 strikeouts on the season, has a chance to get number 30 here against Michael Benavidez, who's already gone yard once today. He's 1 for 1.
It's been the Michael Benavidez game.
It really has. The home run is a big fastball here pumped in by Fleming. The count 0-1, but the big home run to left, and then out in left field, robbing Cavara's tears of a possible 3-run home run. The 0-1 pitch to Benavidez. There's that slurve. Started in and bent outside, and Benavidez couldn't lay off. The count 0-2. Fleming looking for strikeout number 30. Setting up outside is McKenna. Fastball that bounces up to him, and the count a ball and 2 strikes. Fleming was not at that all-star game. The 1-2 pitch, and there's that slurve, and he sits down. Michael Benavidez. Benavidez, who did have the home run on the first pitch of the game from Fleming, is not able to get the better of Fleming here, and he strikes out. That is the 30th strikeout this summer that has been recorded by Ryan Fleming. So that's a nice round number to hang your hat on, and Fleming going to try to keep things going, but after the top of the 3rd, it is still 1-0. Fleming with his second 1-2-3 inning of the ballgame so far. Crawdads will be back up to bat in the bottom of the 3rd here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Solano. First pitch here to Jude Putz, misses low and outside. The count 1-0 to the number 9 hitting shortstop for the Crawdads. Putz is hitting 185, no home runs, 3 driven in. It's 9-1-2 for the Dads here in the bottom of the 3rd. And the 1-0 hits the inside corner, and the count 1-1. Putz, Schmidt, then Corio.
It was good to see Jude Putz have a pair of hits the other day in the game that we weren't able to broadcast. He had a really nice day both at the plate and in the field.
1-1 pitch, misses everything, gets by Topping, and the count 2-1. Hits the backstop. But yeah, Putz is, we keep saying it, seeing the ball better. Hasn't gone his way entirely yet. Still looking to find some open green when he does strike the ball. The 2-1 pitch to Putz, and he takes high. Good eye there from Putz. That's a pitch that probably early in the season he goes after.
Absolutely. It's a different Jude Putz right now. He looks good.
The 3-1 pitch to Jude, and he takes, and he thought it was ball 4, but it's called a strike by Matt Bolas. So the count now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to the shortstop from Arkansas. The 3-2 pitch, and Putz swings at one in the dirt, and he's tagged out by Topping. No run attempt made there by Jude Putz, and there's one away.
Well, you know, it seems like Putz was picking it up a little bit, but after being ahead 3-1, was unable to pull the trigger on that 3-1 pitch on the inside, and then went down swinging on 3-2, and lineup card's going to turn over. But it's tough right now for Jude Putz, who's such a talented player, and he's just struggling at the plate.
Oh, here is Coleman Schmidt, who's 0 for 1, popped out in his first at bat. And pitch from Stapleton takes a hop on the dirt up to Topping, and the count 1-0. Last 3 games, Schmidt has a pair of home runs. The 1-0 pitch, and Schmidt loses the bat after swinging wildly here. It's a strike, but watch out in the dugout over there for the Mudcats, as the bat actually did land in the dugout. Oof.
Brian Duroff immediately out of the dugout, brings Schmitty some pine tar.
Yeah, here you go, buddy. Maybe get a better grip.
Right.
That's good.
Who was it the other day at Solano that lost their bat? Was it Corio?
I think it was Corio, and the catcher, I believe.
The catcher pulled out the stick of pine tar.
Catcher,
that was funny.
Yeah, the catcher had a stick of pine tar. It wasn't Topping that day. It was Kopp. No, check that. Kopp doesn't even play for Solano as this pitch misses, and the count 2-1. Who was it that day? It was not Trey Topping.
It wasn't Trey Topping. I can look for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was. It's Kopp. No. He plays for Sonoma. Count 2-1 to Schmidt. And the pitch. And Schmidt takes high and in. And the count 3 balls and a strike. Hitter's count here for Coleman Schmidt. 3-1 pitch to Coleman, and he takes in here, and he was thoroughly convinced that that was a ball, but it's called a strike by home plate umpire Bolas, similar to the pitch that Putz took. And the count is now full, 3-2, with 1 away here in the bottom of the third. The Crawdads down by a run. It's 1-0 Solano.
And it was Cole Santander behind
That's
the plate.
who it was. It was Santander, who is not catching today. Trey Topping behind the dish. And this pitch is called a strike, and perhaps a low one. And Schmidt is out looking.
Well, I'll take the perhaps away from you. That was, at his shins.
Yeah, that was a low pitch, no question about it. But a strikeout there. And here comes Tyson Corio. Schmidt now 0 for 2. Corio walked in his first trip to the plate. 1-0 Solano. Stapleton has been good so far today, and the first pitch to the switch hitting Corio, batting lefty, is in there for a strike. The count 0-1. Mentioned that Stapleton has faced the Crawdads 3 times, has lost, and all of those appearances against the Crawdads, all of them starts, and the 0-1 misses low. The count 1-1, but he's been knocked around by the Crawdads. 7 runs in the first start, 3 in the second, and 4 in the third. The 1-1 pitch, and that's in there. Count 1-2. Not all of those earned, of course, but that's a lot of runs to have surrendered on your watch.
But with that said, he had the biggest start of the year for these Mudcats when he shut out Healdsburg over 7 innings in a 1-0 win.
A 1-0 win, and this comes in, and does that hit Corio? It does. Hits him in the lower extremities. That's the second hit batsman for the Crawdads. Donnelly's been plunked, and now Corio, who does rely on his legs. Hopefully he's all right out there. He looks okay. He's over at first. I just feel that the Crawdads get hit a lot with pitches. And I haven't looked it up in a while who leads the league in hit by pitches. But,
well, let me tell you. Give me a minute. Pretend I didn't just say that.
Up to bat is Ryan Ellis, who, like Corio, walked in his first trip to the plate. And missing inside again here is Stapleton, and the count 1-0.
So it is Healdsburg in number 1 with 63 hit by pitches.
They've been hit 63 times. Wow.
And then Slow, Orange County, the Potters, and in 5th, the Crawdads.
1-0 pitch, and this misses low and in, and the count 2-0. So in 5th, the Crawdads.
The Crawdads have been hit 48 now, 50 times, so they're tied in 3rd now.
That's a lot. So tied in 3rd and in the top 2 in the Northern Division. Move over to 1st. Back in safely is the sliding Corio.
And one thing you have to think about Slow in 2nd place is early in the season they had a guy that had 15 hit by pitches in like 9 games, and he just hasn't played since then.
I remember that. The 2-0 pitch to Ellis, and a breaker that finds the outer edge, and the count 2-1. That's a tough way to make a living. That's a tough way to play summer ball, too. To go up there and know you're going to get hit.
Tim LaCastro.
Yeah, you can. You know what? You can make a living doing that at the highest level of baseball. As this is hit into right center, Corio going around second. He'll end up at 3rd for sure. He's being waved home, and Ryan Ellis has an RBI double right here. Corio slides in safely to home plate. A great job by Ryan Ellis putting the bat on the baseball, and he, proven right there while he was at that showcase game. It is now 1-1 here in Danville, California.
It's amazing what Ryan Ellis has done, especially if you consider how poorly he was hitting at the start of the summer, where it just was 0 for after 0 for. And now he might be this team's most consistent hitter. It's him and Ryan Brome.
Brome, still waiting for him to come back. But, Ellis has been great, and it's been much needed, especially with Coleman Schmidt being a little bit inconsistent over the past 2 weeks. But Corio able to score all the way from first, and Ellis able to gap one. An RBI double. It is 1-1 here. And Duroff up at the plate and hits this one over near third base coach John Jensen. Jensen looked like he got a little bit of an arm workout there as he was waving Corio all the way from first base. Looks like Ryan Lovato's actually coaching at first today, not Brant Cummings. Looking back to second is Stapleton, the 0-1 pitch, and hitting the inner half is Stapleton, and the count 0-2 to Duroff, who's 0 for 1. Hit one into center, but right at the cell. Back in the first. 0-2 pitch, 2 away. Ellis has a big lead off of second, and Duroff takes here, and it's strike number 3. Now Stapleton able to strike out 3 Crawdads in the bottom of the 3rd, but he does give up an RBI double to Ryan Ellis after hitting Corio in the leg with a pitch. It is tied at 1. A 1 run for the Crawdads, a hit for them so far. 1 run and 2 hits for the visiting Solano Mudcats. Top of the 4th coming up. Austin Oda on the play-by-play in a tie ball game here, 1-1 in Danville, California. More baseball on the Crawdads streaming network.
top of the 4th inning here at Monte Vista High School. Welcome into the DVB broadcast booth. Austin Oda alongside me is Alon Desai, excuse me.
There you go. It's a
been,
tough one.
Like 4 days, and I just forgot how to Desai it.
To Desai it.
Desai it. But yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There's the dad joke for
Gotta have a dad joke
Right.
on the dad's broadcast.
First pitch, DeSalle takes, called strike one on a fastball. Ryan Fleming has been great since that first pitch home run. And he enters now the game tied all back up at 1 apiece. The 0-1 to the 2-hitter DeSalle is hit pretty deep to left center. Going back, Schmidt, he goes into a dive, but it's off the wall. Donnelly up and firing, but there's no one covering second base. Duroff fields it behind the second base bag. Sloppy defense. But Kenny DeSalle rockets a double to left center. And right after the Crawdads tie it up, the Mudcats are right back in business.
Runner in scoring position now, Kenny DeSalle, who was putting on a show during BP today, and it was the longest BP round I've ever seen a CCL player take. He had about 25 to 30 pitches that were given to him. I mean, I was out there watching for about 12 minutes, and he hit quite a few into left center.
Cole Santander 1 for 1. First pitch, slurve. Well, where'd that miss? Called high, 1-0.
Zone has been pretty big today from Matt Bolas. And really the low strikes. Those have been the tough ones for these hitters.
The 1-0. Flared into shallow right center, going over Cummings, and he'll make the catch. Tagging from second to DeSalle. The throw from Cummings to third is just a little late. DeSalle's in there standing. Cummings looked like he had that cannon, but the ball just died right out of his hand.
And DeSalle is fast enough to where he can make that read and tag up pretty comfortably.
One of the best athletes in the entire CCL is Kenny DeSalle.
He is great, and you don't really realize how big and muscular he is. I mean, he doesn't look that large from here, but when you're down on the field, he's got some muscles on him.
So runner on third, 1 out. 1-1 the score. Trey Topping, now the hitter. He grounded into a double play in his last at-bat to get Fleming out of the first inning. First pitch to Topping. Sails up high, 1-0. Trey Topping, of course, the catcher out of Willamette. There's about 4 or 5 Willamette guys on this Solano Mudcats team. The 1-0. Slider popped high in the air, shallow center. Going back on the ball, Corio, he calls it off. Tagging from third to DeSalle, and not a smart decision by Corio to catch that ball, because if it's Schmidt, his momentum takes him back to the field of play. And likely that run doesn't score, but it does. Kenny DeSalle's speed comes into play there, and the Mudcats lead 2-1. Fleming not happy.
That's Schmidt's ball all the way, and then you saw Corio and Schmidt exchange some words there, and Schmidt kind of banging the glove against his hip as he walks back out there to deep center. But you're right, Austin. He catches that ball. He's got momentum carrying towards the plate.
First pitch, Fleming moving very quickly. He's not happy. He needs to take a deep breath here and reset. That's not his fault.
No, it's not. And Schmidt's got a good enough arm to where if DeSalle does run.
As the 1-0 is hit hard, but just past the glove of Corio at second base and into right center. It gets past Cummings, and taking an aggressive turnaround first is Wood, but he's in safely.
But, Schmidt, just going back to that last play a few moments ago, if he has it, he can at least intimidate even the speedy DeSalle from third into not making that run home. But I think when he saw Corio was going to take it, he figured, second baseman, I probably got this.
Here's Tasso Foster, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, went down looking. First pitch, grounded to second base. This should do it. Corio up with it and throws in time to first. But the Mudcats bring home a run on a pair of hits. No errors, they leave a runner on. Now 2-1 the score. Headed to the bottom of the 4th here on the Crawdads streaming network.
Leading off for Walnut.
Bottom of the fourth inning, the Walnut Creek Crawdads down 2-1 after the sac fly brought home Kenny DeSalle in the last inning. I'm redeeming myself here. Austin Oda and Alon Desai on the call.
There you go. Love it.
I've told you this, but the first time that I listened to you on a call, I didn't know what your name was, and I heard Alonda Say, and I kept looking up. I was like, who is this Alonda Say person we're talking about?
It was Alonda.
Kavares here's the hitter. He gave the ball a ride to left his first at bat. First pitch changeup, and he swings through it. That big Kavares here's swing, and it's 0-1.
Now, if he does connect, I mean, the ball's going to go a long way, either high up or high out of the park, but pitch a little outside.
Swings again here and misses again. 0-2, that same changeup.
He might still be frustrated about getting robbed by Benavidez out there and left.
Hey, I am. I'm frustrated about it. The 0-2. Tears takes about a 45-footer. 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like at least a double. I mean, the ball was right up there near the yellow covering at the top of the wall. That could have been Tears' fourth home run.
The 1-2. Tears takes down low. 2-2. You mentioned Tears' fourth home run. He's been sitting on one home run in conference play since his second conference game. I mean, he took a ball, it felt like 700 feet to right field. It was probably about 400 out to dead right. But since then, it's been quiet. The 2-2, line drive right to Jared Wood at short. He snags it in midair, makes the catch. But I like that from Kavares Tears. I like the line drive approach. He took two balls the other way in that last game last weekend against Lincoln. And that's a good Kavares Tears.
Yeah, a good Kavares Tears is a Tears who's going up there with the approach of middle and opposite field, not trying to pull everything. So even though that's an out there, it's a hard hit ball. It's just a nice play made by Wood, although not the nicest play that Wood has made today.
First pitch to Donnelly, down low, 1-0.
Did have that double play he was able to start out where he leapt up and caught a ball.
Donnelly finally got off the schneid in his last game with a booming double to left field, the 1-0. Chopped to second base. Foster settles around and flips to first in time to get noted speed demon Joey Donnelly.
You can say that now after the stolen bag.
Second out of the inning. It'll bring up the catcher, Andrew McKenna, who unfortunately did not hear his name called the other day in the MLB draft. He submitted his name, was hoping for potentially a late-round option. He's got the catching chops to do that. I think at the next level already.
He can get there. He can get there, especially with some more experience. They have the bat come along a little farther for him.
First pitch, swing and a miss on a good changeup, 0-1.
That would definitely help him, but the catching chops, as you put it, he 100% has it. Very athletic.
The 0-1. McKenna smashes this one to first. Garcia goes down to a knee to field it. He flips onto the pitcher covering in time, and McKenna is retired for the second time today. 1-2-3, go the Dads. We'll head to the top of the fifth. 2-1 the score here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. The top of the 5th inning coming up. Noah Garcia, Jaden Jones, Jackson Bates due up for the Mudcats, who lead it 2-1. 2 runs on 4 hits without an error for Solano, and a run on a hit. No errors for the Crawdads. Ryan Fleming back out for his 5th inning of work.
Been a good game for Fleming so far. Just really the only serious mistake, the first pitch of the ball game.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been Ryan Fleming. First pitch to Noah Garcia is a slurve that's swung on and missed. Garcia had wanted no part of that, and it's 0-1.
I can't believe we're saying it, but
The 0-1. Flipped foul off to the left, 0-2.
But you know, for a while it always seemed, are the Crawdads going to get some good pitching today? And now it's where are the hits going to come from? I mean, just one hit so far, and
The 0-2 taken down low, 1-2.
Garcia called time, and I think it may have been, was it granted?
Not sure. The 2-strike pitch up high with fastball. Let's see. And it is 2-2. Fleming fires. Garcia lines this one into shallow center. Schmidt comes in and now takes a couple steps back, but makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
So what happened on that pitch where Garcia called time? It was good by Ryan Fleming. When you're that late already into just about to get into your
Just
motion,
go, right.
just throw it. I mean, that's a way where bad things can happen out there on the baseball field when there's a late time called. You're already getting started. You got to go.
Now Jaden Jones, who's 0 for 1. First pitch slider. Chopped to third again. Ellis can't get the short hop. And it caroms over to Putz, who has no play. An error for Ryan Ellis. So Ellis loves that short hop.
And he's got great hands.
And he does. But when it doesn't work, it looks really bad.
Yeah.
When you see just the optics of it, you know, seeing that huge hop and saying, why aren't you getting that one? Why are you trying for the short hop? It works a lot of the time for Ellis, but when it doesn't, not a good thing.
Playing with fire there if you always field the ball that way. Ellis is so good at it, but bites him there.
First pitch to Jackson Bates is called strike 1 on the outer black, 0-1.
And we've talked about it several times, Austin, that it's incredible the way he does it with such ease, but every once in a while there's going to be one that happens that way on a short hop.
Pickoff move, back in safely is Jones.
But he does have phenomenal hand-eye coordination out there.
0-1 to Jackson Bates. Fleming fires. Bates takes just a little high.
That's been a strike today. I think Fleming wanted that one.
Not the most consistent zone behind the plate today. Just an honest assessment. The 1-1. Bates takes fastball just a little outside. 2-0. 2-1, excuse me.
That one out there, and McKenna quickly snapped the glove back in, but not able to entice a call from home plate umpire Matt Bolos.
2-1 the score. Bates the hitter. Fleming fires. Bates pops it up. Back behind the plate. Foul, 2-2. Ryan Fleming sitting at just 45 pitches here in the 5th inning.
Great number to be at.
And you want to be at 45 after 3. He's sitting there in the middle of the 5th. He should have 2 outs right now. The 2-2. Bates takes strike 3 called. He goes down for the 2nd time today. The 29th time this season that Jackson Bates has gone down, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. 5th strikeout of the day for Ryan Fleming. Here's Michael Benavides having, I'm sure, one of the best games he's played in. A home run, a robbed home run. First pitch, he takes up and in with a fastball. Bended him back, 1-0. You hear someone from the Solano dugout saying, "We have ice."
Yeah.
You don't want to wear one to your face.
No way.
That's just, well, there's a couple places. That's one of the places I wouldn't want to be hit, as back in just safely is Jaden Jones. Good move by Fleming.
It's definitely the worst. We've seen a few players hit up high this summer, but
I think the worst one was Davis Kopp out in Sonoma, but that wasn't a hit by pitch. That was a foul ball up into the restricted area.
Yeah, below the belt.
1-0, swung on and missed. Big swing by Benavides.
Remember last season, there was some games where 4 or 5 guys didn't matter whose team it was, both teams, whoever was playing, get hit.
1-1. Benavides can't check his swing on a slider that's way outside, and it's 1-2. McKenna came up looking like he was going to try to pick Jones off first, but Fleming looked at him and said, no, I want this guy right here. I want the guy at the plate.
No, he's already gotten Benavides once, and I think giving up that home run on the first pitch of the game to Benavides was huge, and maybe it's fired Fleming up a bit.
Trying for his 6th strikeout. Pickoff move. Jones just in again.
I thought for a second Stankiewicz, because it was a late call there from Mike over at first, I thought he was going to give the out signal.
Fleming sets at the belt. The 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? And no, he did not, says Mike Stankiewicz.
Well, I think Fleming figures if I get him swinging at one way outside and in the dirt, I might as well go back there again. And now Fleming can either go to that same spot or pump a big fastball by him.
Deuces are wild. 2-1 the score here in the top of the 5th. Fleming delivers. Slider swung on and missed. 6 Ks for Ryan Fleming, but the Crawdads trail 2-1 when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Hey, I don't think... Quick turnaround here in Danville, California.
Yeah, we're trying to set a record today.
I know.
What we had that game in Santa Barbara. Had about 3-minute half innings.
I mean, that's not even much of an exaggeration.
No, it's really not.
Casey Cummings, first pitch, way down low with the big curveball, 1-0. 2-1, the Crawdads trail here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It was just announced that Chase Valentine of the Orange County Riptide signed a big league contract with the San Diego Padres. We saw him about a month ago. The 1-0 to Cummings. Hit hard into center field. DeSalle going back. He settles and makes the catch two-hand style for the first out of the inning.
Healdsburg, that's a team that's going to look a bit different.
Right, no kidding. So, for those of you unaware, Jason Franks, their closer, got drafted. They also had Elijah Birdsong, one of their relievers, get drafted. Austin Ehrlicher, another one of their relievers. And then Sam Stoutenborough, their top starter, all got drafted, along with Torrin Montgomery, their big first baseman from Mizzou.
Yeah, who had a great...
First pitch to Putz, misses low.
Had a great season average-wise with Healdsburg. Really worked on that this summer as opposed to last year with the Prune Packers. So they're going to be a much different animal.
The 1-0. Putz takes called strike one on a pitch that was well under his knees, and the count draws even 1-1.
So that low strike is there today, and hitters might have to think about golfing some of these.
The 1-1. Putz chops it to third, and just foul past Jones. 1-2.
Yeah, it's great for the CCL, the California Collegiate League, a league that the Crawdads have been a part of now these last 2 seasons, and were a member before. But this iteration of the Crawdads is great for the CCL, though, having players get into Major League Baseball, or at least into organizations. Just grows the league and really helps the standing.
1-2. Putz takes down low on a slider. 2-2. Drew Stapleton's been really good so far today. 4 1/3 innings pitched. Struck out 3 batters, all came in the 3rd inning. Putz, the 2-2. Up high, fastball, 3-2.
Well, and Stapleton has done it in a bit of a different way than Fleming has today. He's been a little erratic all over the place, but he's been effective.
39 strikes, 31 balls. The 3-2. Putz stays alive, fouls this off to the right.
He's just able to time that up. That definitely had the power.
3-2. Stapleton checks in, dangles the right arm. Now comes set just above the belt. He kicks and deals. Putz takes up high, ball 4. Nice at bat.
Great job by Jude Putz. Much better than his first at bat, where he swung at one down. Crawdads have done a great job of getting, sound like a broken record. Great job of getting runners on.
So what can they do with them?
Yeah, what can they do with them? Just the 1 run so far.
Coleman Schmidt 0 for 2. A strikeout in his last at bat on a ball that was probably a little bit low. Pickoff move, putts in safely. There's definitely not a lot of love lost between these two teams when they play each other.
No, there's
a lot of chirping. It's fun.
No, it is. I mean, definitely adds to the competitive aspect, even though it is summer ball. But there's pride as well involved.
First pitch to Schmidt. Way down low, gets behind Topping. And Putz is able to move over to second. Topping couldn't even get a glove on that one. It was about a, 45-footer?
That looked like it hit the lip of the grass and the dirt there almost. But, yeah, that was not close.
So wildly effective today has been Andrew Stapleton.
It's a good way of putting it. I mean,
he's only given up a hit.
He's given up 1 hit, 1 run.
The 1-0 to Schmidt. Crushes this one into deep right center. It drops in front of the right fielder. Putz is being sent. Here comes the relay, and Putz is going to be held up at third. He didn't read the ball well off the bat, and the Crawdads don't get a run. Schmidt has to stay at first. And what is Jude Putz doing?
Well, I don't think he got a good read on it, and I think he was expecting Jensen there to just wave that arm, and I think John figured that Putz would have read it well enough there. A ball hit into the gap, but Crawdads will have runners on first and third, and at least it's an opportunity here for Tyson Corio to maybe do something.
Corio yet to record an official at bat today. Takeoff move, Schmidt's in safely. I think that Putz might have thought it was hit harder off the bat and that it was a sure thing that it was going to the wall, which is why he froze. He knew he would be able to score no matter what, but there was no way that ball was getting caught.
It was pretty much right in between the right fielder and the center fielder, Bates and DeSalle.
First pitch. Corio hits this high into center field. Putz tags at third. DeSalle up with it. Here comes the throw. Putz tags. It's up the line and cut off by Garcia. The Dads tied up at 2.
Well, the Crawdads do get their run. However, they have to trade an out for it, but I'm sure they'll take that. They would have liked to score with just the 1 out there on the board.
Third baseman Ryan.
Feel bad for Schmidt. He doesn't get an RBI. Well, it's 2-2. All that matters.
And Corio gets his 16th RBI.
Yeah, he deserves that RBI as well. He's seeing the ball well. Now Ryan Ellis 1-for-1 with a walk and a double. Pickoff move, Schmidt back in safely. Our point streak data analyst, Jeffrey Cambra, just mentioned that Tyson Corio today has 3 at-bats and is 0-for-0 with a sac fly and 2 walks. He's Tajeroing.
Yeah, a walk and a hit by pitch.
Right.
It hasn't been as easy as Tajero's day, where he didn't have to get hit.
He got hit once.
Oh, you know what? Did he
Last
get
at
hit?
bat.
Did he get hit in that game
Yep.
again? That seems like a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but it wasn't a long time ago.
But it really wasn't. Apologize there, Zach. You're a tough man as well.
First pitch to Ellis. Called strike 1. It looked low and inside. Bullis gave the call, the Stapleton.
If that ball is just a little higher, though, and inside there to Ellis,
Turns on it.
That is a dangerous spot.
The 0-1. Schmidt goes. Ellis lines this one under the glove of Wood. Schmidt's going to take an aggressive turn and be up into third standing. The second hit of the day for Ryan Ellis. And the Crawdads have runners on first and third, but there are 2 outs.
Well, that took a tough bounce, and Wood, who's made some nice plays today, came in to get that one, and almost similar to what happened to Ryan Ellis in a way, although it didn't hit Wood's glove. It just took a really hard bounce, and we always know and don't mention a lot on the broadcast, but how hard this infield dirt can play because it just eats water, even though, I mean, they spray this sucker down for about 15 minutes before every game.
So the Crawdads have runners on the corners, 2 outs, 2-2 the score. Ellis on first, Schmidt on third. Brian Duroff, the batter at the plate, he's 0-for-2. First pitch, Ellis goes, Duroff takes, and, well, there's that league lead for Ryan Ellis, stolen base number 16 of the summer.
There you
Have
go.
yourself a summer, kid.
There you go, Ellie. Gets to go to the showcase game, gets seen by scouts. He's hitting well. He's had some walk-off moments. I mean, steals. Good job, Ryan Ellis.
1-0 to Duroff, now with a chance to bring in 2 on a single. He takes a changeup. Called strike 1 over the outside. 1-1.
It's great to see Crawdads have been at the top of the leaderboards and the CCL in different categories all summer.
Sure, Brent Cummings loves having guys that can run. The 1-1. Duroff hits this one pretty hard to short. Wood fields it on a hop, throws to first in time. A little weird there by Noah Garcia. At first, it looked like he was twisting and turning around trying to get that ball, but he made the play either way for the third out of the inning. The Crawdads tie it up on a pair of hits, a walk, and a sac fly. Led to the top of the 6th. Ryan Fleming back onto the mound here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the 6th inning. 2-2 now the score after the Crawdads were able to tie it up in the bottom of the 5th. Ryan Fleming still on the mound. He has been extremely efficient. And he'll face Kenny DeSell, Cole Santander, and Trey Topping, 2, 3, 4. 3 of the best hitters in this Solano lineup. First pitch to DeSell. Misses down and away. 1-0. DeSalle on the day. 1 for 2. A double in his last at bat. The 1-0 to DeSalle. Slurve. Front doors DeSalle. He can't believe it, and it's 1-1.
Get used to it, Kenny. It's been happening to everybody.
Right, you're not special, kid.
No. I mean, he is a great ball player, but his zone has just been.
It's the 1-1 foul.
Zone's been tough today, and looks like someone's getting warm over there in the bullpen for Solano. Saw Jack Ben Shoshan throwing a little bit earlier for the Crawdads.
He texted me and said I was just bored when he was warming up. So, gotta love it. The 1-2. Outside with a slurve, 2-2.
Just bored, so I'm gonna warm myself up here. Okay.
He, I believe, is throwing with whoever the right fielder is, so I think just bored meant keeping the arm loose.
Ah.
The 2-2. Fleming fires. Fastball up high. 3-2. It is Chase Banks warming up in the bullpen. The dominant Chase Banks.
Yeah, he has been outstanding for Solano. He's been good against the Crawdads as well.
The 3-2. Slurve swung on and missed. DeSalle goes down swinging, the 7th strikeout of the day for Ryan Fleming, and he still hasn't walked to batter.
Well, Fleming, just great today. I'm glad that the offense was able to pick him up a little bit, get him into a tie ball game.
Really nice start so far for Fleming. First pitch to Santander. Misses down low, ball 1.
And he's done a great job of, I know he fell behind here, 1-0 already, but throwing a lot of strikes. Maybe doing his best Hollis Fanning today for us.
The 1-0. Fleming fires. Santander takes just outside. 2-0. Santander, big, powerful right-handed hitter. Fleming delivers, and Santander fouls it back off the glove of Andrew McKenna. I was able to talk to Andrew McKenna. He does this routine before every inning where he will sit with his mask off behind the plate and wipe off a slate, kind of like trying to clean the slate, and that's exactly what he's doing. He said that anything in front of me, I want to be a true hop. He said if it gets to either of the batter's boxes, I get it. As the 2-1 is a slurve and a beauty called strike 2, 2-2. But he said that anything right in front of me, anything in that area of the plate, I want to be able to have a true hop because that is my zone.
That's his and I mean that's a great approach. He's been just excellent.
The 2-2, slurve grounded to short, Putz on a backhand, bobbles it, and that's another error for Jude Putz.
Ouch, that is a play that Jude Putz just. There's no excuse for that, and it's just been something that's plagued the young man all summer, and it's hard to see that happen because these guys are all working so hard out here, but that's just a simple backhanded stab that he has to make there and just throw over, or maybe use the legs a little bit more and just get fully in front of it, scoop it up, but that's tough, and it gives Solano a base runner that they shouldn't have.
Now the 16th error of the summer from Jude Putz, leading the team. First pitch to Topping, misses inside, one a fastball, 1-0.
And it's really tough for the pitcher, Fleming, or really whoever's out there.
1-0. Topping hits this one hard to right field. Cummings goes towards the line, and it drops in front of him. Going from first to third is Santander, and that's where he'll stay. Runners on the corners after Trey Topping's single.
And so what would have just been a single, you would think, now is a single and a runner on third because of that error. So already coming back to hurt the Crawdads here, but Fleming has been so good today that, he's been great with the strikeout stuff, and now he's going to be called upon here to really bail out Jude Putz.
Needs a strikeout or a double play ball. He would take that one in a heartbeat. First pitch to Jared Wood. Hit hard but foul. 0-1. Jude Putz extending a league lead in a category that you don't want to lead the league in.
Yeah, errors.
16 errors. Mikey Bell of Sonoma in second place with 14.
14. Matt King also up in double digits.
Yeah, he had 12 on his summer, but a lot of those weren't necessarily his fault, I want to say. The 0-1 to Wood. Fleming sits deep and fires a called strike. Fastball, 0-2.
And these are just things you see in summer ball all across the country. I mean, you see some very talented players, some players with some great natural gifts, and still just trying to figure out.
The 0-2. Slurve misses outside.
And Putz is one of those guys, so young and has a whole college career ahead of him.
1-2 to Jared Wood. Fleming sets, kicks, and deals. Slurve fouled off to the right. Count stays 1-2.
Now, Fleming shook off McKenna there and then decided to go with the slurve and fought off.
1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2 is the score, but the Mudcats are threatening with runners on the corners and just 1 out. Fleming fires. This pitch fouled off to the right into over by the softball field. 1-2. Got a big hanging fastball, did Wood, but he was just late on it. The runner on first, Topping. Santander on third. Not a lot of speed, both catchers. Fleming. The 1-2 to Wood. Just outside, a fastball that's been there all day, and Fleming can't believe it. He is upset.
He's angry about that, and he just took about 6 steps backwards off the mound and kind of stamping his foot there on the grass.
He is not happy. I don't blame him. 2-2 to Wood. Fleming fires. Slurve popped up. Right side. Not deep enough. Cummings under it near the line. Tagging from third is Santander, but he'll stay right there. And Wood is retired without a run coming home to score. Nice job.
Santander thought about it. So did third base coach Ryan Adams, who's also the manager for the Mudcats. But they figured better of it. Don't test the arm of Cummings. He got that in real quick, and that would have been an out at the plate.
Now Tasso Foster, who's 0 for 2. In a big spot. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, tie ball game here in the top of the 6th. Ryan Fleming trying to get out of a jam that he didn't create himself. First pitch to Foster. Fleming fires. Foster takes a slurve, blocked by McKenna.
He's wiping that slate right there. McKenna doing what McKenna does. I mean, you never feel like a ball's going to get by him. And that has to imbue so much confidence in the pitcher.
The 1-0. Called strike 1. Fleming's not even happy with that one.
No,
Fleming was
because
like,
he knows
that's
it's
not a
low.
strike.
He knows it's low.
Right.
He knows it's low. He'll take it, but it's the zone that they have to deal with.
He sets, takes a deep breath, delivers. Slurve, tight, hits Foster, and he'll be on first. The bases are loaded. Home plate umpire Matt Bullis goes over and says something to the Solano dugout.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that could be about. I mean, it was a breaking pitch, and now this is interesting.
Brent Cummings is calling timeout.
Yeah.
I think Topping's going over to talk to his third base coach on different reads. The infield's going to come in here with 2 outs. Bases are going to be loaded when we resume play. Kenny DeSalle started this inning with a strikeout swinging, and then Jude Putt's error put Santander on first. Trey Topping singled after that to put runners on the corners. Jared Wood popped out harmlessly to right field, and then getting hit by a pitch was Tasso Foster. And that's where we stand with the bases loaded. Noah Garcia at the plate. He's done damage against this Crawdads team before. First pitch to Noah Garcia. Fleming Fires, swing and a miss, a changeup, 0-1. It's one of the first changeups we've seen today.
Well, and that was a very interesting one from Fleming. He really
held that leg kick.
Yeah, he really held the leg kick. Looked like he was going to rear back and throw a heater, and absolutely pulls the string on Noah Garcia.
The 0-1. Slurve called strike 2. Now Garcia in a deep pull.
Fleming's got him off balance here.
Trying to get K number 8 today is Ryan Fleming. The 0-2. With the bases loaded, Fleming sets, fires. Jammed. Third base side. Ellis up with it. No play. Garcia's going to be safe.
That's the way it works out usually when you commit an error. It usually comes back to bite you, and it did right there. And a great pitch from Fleming. And with the 2-out situation, you don't have to play forward, and that's a ball where if Ellis is forward, that's a sure out over at first. And with 2-way, doesn't have to be so close to the infield grass. And little bleeder there. Tough break for the Crawdads.
Jaden Jones, base is still loaded. First pitch misses low, 1-0. Wow. Unbelievable. Noah Garcia almost, that looked like Chase Stanky. First pitch, grounded to second. Corio bobbles it, makes the play in time to first. Daroff catches it for the 3rd out of the inning. The Crawdads somehow escape, only allowing a run. Wow. Bases are left loaded. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 the score here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Crawdads now trail once again after tying it up. Really, both innings that they've tied it up, the Mudcats have turned right around and taken the lead back. Just doesn't feel like a game the Crawdads are. It doesn't feel like they want to win. They keep giving up the lead right after not the lead. They keep giving up the game after they tie it up. The Crawdads will have 5, 6, 7 Kavaris Tears, Joey Donnelly, and Andrew McKenna against maybe the best pitcher on this entire team. It's reliever/starter Chase Banks. Banks this summer has been elite. 10 games, a start, 27 2/3 innings, 22 strikeouts, 3-0 with a 1.62 ERA.
Yeah, and that start was against the Crawdads on July 13th.
7 innings, a run, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks. He was insane.
No, he was great, and the Crawdads are going to have a tough time, you would think, against him, just with how effective he's been all season. But the Crawdads able to get some rest over the All-Star break, and they're going to have to fight here down by a run.
Kavaris Tears, the hitter, he's hit 2 balls very well, 1 to shortstop, 1 to left field, both caught in the air. 3-2 the score. Banks First pitch. Tears hits this one high. He hits it deep. Kiss that ball goodbye. See ya. Kavaris Tears ties this game back up at 3, and that was a big swing of the bat.
Well, he maybe got cheated a little bit on the one that he got robbed by Michael Benavidez out in the left. This time he shows off the pull side power and hits it all the way to one of the ball fields out past the right field fence, and there was no doubt about that. That's out anywhere. And I mean that, anywhere. That was a deep shot, and Kavaris Tears shown everybody just how strong he is.
His 4th home run of the summer, and he needed that one. 3-3. Here's Joey Donnelly. First pitch taken on the inside corner. Strike 1. Donnelly 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch, reach base that way. But what a shot by Kavaris Tears. The 0-1. Donnelly fouls it off to the left, 0-2.
And now another dangerous hitter to deal with here. One that's had some trouble recently, much like Kavaris Tears, Joey Donnelly. Can't give in to him.
The 0-2. Donnelly takes right down the middle, strike 3 called. First strikeout of the day for Banks, first out of the inning.
Catcher Andrew McKenna.
So you would figure Banks would settle down, much like Ryan Fleming has. They're giving up a home run to the first hitter that Fleming faced. He did settle down, and Banks, after giving up a home run to Kavaris Tears, an absolute blast, he's able to get Donnelly.
First pitch to Andrew McKenna. McKenna flares this one off to the left, foul, 0-1.
I like the aggressive approach from McKenna. You know me, Austin, it's something I've been saying. I'd like to see some of these guys at the bottom of the batting order be a lot more aggressive than they have been.
The 0-1. McKenna fouls this one hard past Mudcats dugout, 0-2. The 0-2. Banks fires. McKenna grounds this one to second. Foster fields it off the carpet and throws to Garcia, covering first for the second out of the inning. 4-3, the third time McKenna has been retired. 2 outs.
Right fielder Casey Cummings.
Casey Cummings now 0 for 2, is hit the ball hard twice, but one time lined into a double play, the other lined out to center. First pitch, big curveball from Banks, called strike 1. Oh and 1 to Cummings. Banks checks in over his glove and delivers. Cummings can't check his swing, goes all the way around on a slider that was in the dirt. 0-2. Banks trying to recover completely after the leadoff home run. He fires. Cummings takes strike 3 called over the outer black. The second strikeout looking of the inning for Chase Banks. Led to the top of the 7th. 3-3 the score. Kavaris Tears, big fly, ties the game up at 3 apiece. Alon to say back on play-by-play. Ryan Fleming back out to the mound when we come back on the Crawdads streaming network.
Jackson Bates.
Top of the 7th inning, 3-3 here in Danville, California. Crawdads able to tie things up on a huge home run from Kavara's Tears. Up to bat now is Jackson Bates, the right fielder for the Mudcats. It's 9-1-2 for Solano. Still Fleming on the mound, and the first pitch here from Fleming to Bates is called for a strike. Jackson Bates 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts. He's down in the count 0-1. This pitch misses high. The count a ball and a strike now. Fleming has been very focused today, I think is the right word for it. He's been dialed in as he fires in a slurve there for a strike. Count 1-2, but Fleming has thrown 57 strikes to just 24 balls. And he's been frustrated a bit at times. Pitch is a slurve, swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Ryan Fleming.
Hat trick.
And now 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts is Jackson Bates. So a good way to start things off here in the top of the 7th
Fielder Michael
for Ryan Fleming.
8 strikeouts for Flem today.
You know what? He's got a chance to get up there to 9.
I was thinking it.
Oh, here's Benavidez, and Benavidez takes a fastball in on the hands, but checks his swing. The count 1-0. First base umpire Mike Stankiewicz on the appeal says no swing. Benavidez has struck out a couple of times after homering a solo shot in the first, and Fleming misses low and away with a fastball here. The count 2-0. But Benavidez had an amazing game today. A home run to left, robbing Kavara's Tears of a 3-home run. Big blast, a 3-run homer, excuse me, as Benavidez hits this high into right field. Coming in is Casey Cummings, and he makes the catch for round number 2. But Benavidez now 1 for 4, but just taking away runs from the Crawdads on a great hit there, potential home run for Kavara's Tears, but he's able to maybe get a little revenge by going to the right side of the ballpark and
Center fielder Kenny DeSalle.
getting a ball to escape. So here's Kenny DeSalle. And the first pitch to DeSalle, there's that breaking ball hitting the inner half. And Fleming has no issues front dooring guys, going away. He's been great, especially against the righties today for the Mudcats. And the 0-1 pitch. And this is hit on the ground and just past the third baseman. Ryan Ellis took a couple of hops and ended up in left field. And now on first is Kenny DeSalle.
Really, has this team hit a ball hard since the first inning?
It just doesn't seem like it. It seems that Benavidez hit has been the best hit they've had all day. They have 3 runs on 7 hits. The Crawdads, 3 runs, 4 hits. A couple of errors as well. So here is Santander. DeSalle now 2 for 4. Santander 1 for 3. Been on base a couple of times here. The first pitch to Santander misses low, and the count 1-0. Santander reached on his last at-bat in the 6th on a Jude Putz error. And the first he did single. Flew out to right in the 4th. Pickoff move over to first, and sliding in safely is Kenny DeSalle. Crawdads looking to finish the season strong. 9 games left. The 1-0 pitch, DeSalle takes off from first. McKenna has to slow his throw up and then eventually throws into the outfield. Schmidt is right there to pick it up, the center fielder Coleman Schmidt, but DeSalle has second base. It was interesting there. McKenna got the ball, popped up pretty quickly, and then kind of pump faked on the throw, and that hesitation, I think, gave DeSalle just enough time to get in there.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't anticipating Corio being able to cover the second base bag in time.
The count 2-0 to Cole Santander. And the pitch, this is hit high into foul territory. Running on it is the first baseman Duroff, and he has to stop at the fence as this lands in one of the grassy areas past the bullpen of the Crawdads.
My favorite thing from this summer has been hearing, you got room,
boy.
and then just no room.
There is a lot of room. There's a ton, more than at most of the ballparks in the CCL, but seen some players run into some fencing here in Danville just because they think they do have so much room. 3-3 the score in the ball game right now. The 2-1 pitch from Fleming. This misses high as Fleming nearly falls off the mound. And a count 3 balls and a strike here to Cole Santander, the designated hitter for the Mudcats. DeSell in scoring position over at second after stealing second base.
Fleming still yet to walk a batter today, looking to keep that intact against Santander.
And DeSell acted like he was going to go, and this pitch misses high and in, so that's a walk of Santander. He's been on base now 3 times, coming around to score once. So runners on first and second with 2 away. And Trey Topping, the catcher, is going to step in.
Catcher Trey.
Hit into a double play in the first. Had a sac fly RBI in the fourth, and had a hit in the sixth. A righty against righty. Tied at 3 here in Danville. The pitch from Fleming to Topping misses low and outside. It's a breaking ball that McKenna was able to block, and the count 1-0. Fleming has been locked in all day, finally walks a batter. That was Cole Santander. He's over at first. And the 1-0 pitch, and missing the glove of McKenna there, actually ricocheting off the mitt of McKenna. It gets all the way to the backstop. Both runners advance. So now there's 2 runners in scoring position here. And the count 2-0. McKenna just made a hard play to block a ball, and then that one just skips out of the mitt. So up at second now is Cole Santander. Over at third, Kenny DeSell. And Trey Topping ahead. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now he's in a jam.
Now he is, and this one self-induced. A 2-0 pitch, and this misses low and outside. And the count 3-0. So pass ball earlier and then going way outside past the lefty's batter box to get a ball. But the count 3-0. The 3-0 pitch to Topping, and there's a fastball in the inner half for strike number 1. The count 3 balls and a strike here. Top of the 7th inning, a tie ball game, 3-3. Fleming trying to keep it that way. The 3-1 pitch to Topping, and he goes up the ladder with a fastball. Topping can't lay off. And the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fleming already with 8 strikeouts today, has a chance for number 9. Fleming has the sign from McKenna. They both nod at each other in agreement. And the payoff pitch, and this misses low. There was a check swing, but Mike Stankiewicz says that Topping did not go. McKenna tagged Trey Topping with the ball. He was convinced that that would have been a strike, but now pitching coach Delmore is going to go out there to have a conversation with both Fleming and the catcher Andrew McKenna. The bases are loaded. There are 2 away. It's a tie ball game. 3 runs apiece for each team. Kavares tears. Last half inning able to tie things up for the Crawdads with a big home run. And now, after the walk of Topping, back-to-back walks now issued by Fleming. It's Jared Wood. Wood had a single to right in the 4th, but that's sandwiched in between a strikeout in the 2nd and a flyout to right field in the 6th.
First out, Jared Wood.
Bases loaded. And Fleming misses far outside to the righty Wood with a fastball. Good job by McKenna to get to it. The count 1-0. Crawdads came in scuffling, we mentioned, just 2-8 over the last 10 overall. The 1-0 pitch, and there's a slurve that gets a swing and a miss, and the count even, a ball and a strike. 4 and 6 in their last 10 divisional games. That's the exact same as the Mudcats in their last 10 divisional games. The Crawdads are in second place. DeSalle playing some games off of third, and this pitch misses in the count 2-1. DeSalle was looked like he's taken off with the pitch there.
Honestly, I could see it happening with Fleming going from the windup with how aggressive DeSalle is.
The 2-1 pitch, and this is hit high in the sky into shallow center. Taking some steps back is the second baseman Corio, and he puts a squeeze on it for out number 3. So the bases were loaded, but somehow Fleming miraculously gets out of it. It is still tied at 3. 3 runs for the visiting Solano Mudcats, still 3 runs for the Crawdads, and Fleming has to be thanking his lucky stars there, able to get Wood to pop out to the second baseman Corio. The bases were left loaded there in the top of the 7th, and the Crawdads should feel pretty good about themselves coming in to the bottom of the 7th inning when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, Danville, California. The Crawdads knotted up 3-3 here with the visiting Solano Mudcats. There's one other game in progress right now. In the CCL, the San Luis Obispo Blues ahead 3-2 against the Conejo Oaks at Sparky Anderson Field at Cal Lutheran. That's in the top of the 5th. Starting at 6 p.m., the Academy Barons are visiting the Santa Barbara Foresters. That's at Pershing Park in Santa Barbara. The West Coast Kings on the road tonight against the Healdsburg Prune Packers. That game also starting at 6. The Lincoln Plotters visiting Sonoma at 6:05. And then at 6:35, the nightcap in the CCL, the Arroyo Seco Saints on the road at the Great Park in Orange County. Pitch here to Jude Putz is big swing and a miss there. Good pitch from Chase Banks. The count 0-1. It's Putz, Schmidt, and Corio for the Crawdads. And the 0-1 pitch to Jude Putz, and he takes here, and a little bit lucky that was called a ball, and the count even. A ball and a strike. Putz has had a rough day in the infield today. Air bug has gotten to him. The 1-1 pitch from Banks, and looking for that outside corner is Banks, but not getting it, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Putz is 0 for 1, strikeout and a walk. And Banks, the righty, fires, and Putz goes after it. A pretty good pitch to hit there for Jude Putz. Kind of bobs his head there. Tried to get around on a pitch inside, maybe pull it. Instead, he fouls it away, and the count 2-2. Two to Putz. And this misses outside. So Banks has gone there a few times now, and he hasn't gotten it.
And that pitch has been called a strike more often than not today.
So the outside black not there for Chase Banks. And Jude Putz going to try to take advantage. A payoff pitch here to Putz. And he's able to fight it off and hit it foul into the fencing above the Crawdads on deck circle. Count stays full.
You don't think Ryan Fleming's going out for another inning, do you? I mean, there's no one in the bullpen.
There's no one in the bullpen. There's some light stretching. No one throwing. The payoff pitch to Putz, and this misses low. So Jude Putz flips the bat back to the dugout of the Crawdads, and he has first base, his second walk that he's drawn today. Good job by Jude.
getting on base any way he can. That was a really good at-bat after working a similarly good at-bat in his last time up.
Now here is Coleman Schmidt, 1 for 3. Popped out to the second baseman Foster in the first, then struck out looking in the third, had a hit in the fifth. Pickoff move over to first, puts back in. Banks has thrown 17 pitches now, 13 strikes to 4 balls. Probably get pitch number 20 here in this at-bat with Coleman Schmidt. And another throw over to Garcia at first, who tags Putz just in case he's, for some reason, not on first. Not a bad idea from Garcia. Banks sets and deals and misses high. Count a ball and no strikes to Coleman Schmidt.
Schmidt thought about pulling the trigger there. I mean, it's a
I
ball
know
up.
he did.
A ball that hung a little too much. You know, he's the mistake hitter of the league. If they gave that award, which they don't, unfortunately, for Schmidt.
I like that award, though. That would go to Coleman Schmidt. The 1-0 pitch, and this is right down Broadway in the count 1-1.
It would definitely go to Coleman Schmidt. I mean, there's no one else. Maybe Blake Burke. But he just hits.
He hits anything, not just mistakes.
Not that Coleman Schmidt is different.
No. But Burke does hit everything. Good pitches, bad pitches. 1-1 pitch to Schmidt, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. The righty Schmidt down 1-2 here in the count. Crawdads do have a runner over on first, Jude Putz. It is 3-3 here at Monte Vista High School in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody out. Third throw over to first, and Putz back safely. The Crawdads 5 games behind first place Healdsburg. They're in sole possession right now of second place, half a game ahead of third place Lincoln. Solano 7.5 games back. And this pitch gets a swing and a miss there, high in the zone from Coleman Schmidt. So you mentioned it a few pitches ago, Austin, that he thought about swinging at a ball very high, and this time he does oblige, and he goes after it, and he comes up empty. There's one away now.
You mentioned that the Crawdads are 5 back of the first place Packers. They do have a chance to make up that at least part of that tonight. If they win, they make up a half game no matter what, as Healdsburg is not playing a league game.
Yeah, playing the West Coast Kings. Pitch here to Corio, and that's in there for a strike. And thinking about a back pick attempt was the catcher Trey Topping.
And really, I don't think that game against the Kings, that Healdsburg West Coast Kings game, I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to be a close one.
You don't say, Austin.
I mean, this was the same team the Crawdads beat 27-4.
No. The 0-1 pitch to Corio. This comes in and actually hits the handle of the bat. Corio realizes he has to take off and run. Banks, the pitcher, was able to field it, throw over to first to get Corio, but Putz moves up to second. There's 2 outs now. That was interesting. At first I thought maybe it had hit Corio on the hands, but then seeing him sprint out of the box, you realize that hit the handle of the bat.
Yeah, you could hear the sound of the handle off the bat, but weird game so far. Weird vibe to today's game.
Kind of an odd rhythm. At points it's been very rapid. Seen a pitching change now for Solano with Banks out on the mound. 3-3 here. Ellis in the box. Putz just off of second. Ellis goes after the first pitch he sees from Banks and fouls it off home plate. Count 0-1. 2 away. Corio. That probably didn't feel too good in on the hands, but not a hit by pitch that time.
Lucky him. That might hurt more than a hit by pitch.
It might. It definitely have to ring out the hands there after that. The 0-1 pitch, and Ellis trying to go after a pitch that's high and away. Maybe trying to go to the opposite field there, find a gap to left center, but not able to solidly connect to the count 0-2. Oh, the Crawdads really trying to break out of a funk. They've gotten a great performance so far from their pitcher, Ryan Fleming. They're There are some stoppers on this team. Fleming one of them, Fanning another. Banks, a couple of looks back to second, the 0-2 pitch, and Ellis jams this into short left field. Is that going to get down? No, going into a slide is Benavidez, the left fielder, to rob Ellis of a hit.
Have yourself a game.
Yeah, Michael Benavidez takes away a home run from Kavara's Tears, hits a home run himself, and now goes into a slide, ends up on his back to take one away from Ryan Ellis in shallow left field. So after 7 innings played, it is still 3-3, and it looks like there might be a new pitcher for the Crawdads coming out here to start off the top of the 8th. More Crawdads baseball coming up here right around the corner on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 8th inning, a 3-3 ball game here in Danville, California. Ryan Fleming, the starter today, was able to go 7 innings, but he is going to be pulled out. And coming in to relieve Mr. Fleming is Zach Button, the righty from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Comes in, no wins, no losses, a 3.85 ERA. This is his 4th appearance. All previous 3 appearances were out of the bullpen. He's thrown 7 innings, struck out 6, walked 3, given up 7 hits. But he's been effective at times for the Crawdads. His last appearance was on July 17th, the 11-2 big blowout win that the Crawdads had over the Healdsburg Prune Packers here. That was a 2 Grand Slam game for the Crawdads. Corio had a grand slam, and so did Coleman Schmidt. But in that game, Zach Button threw 2 innings, gave up 2 runs, both of them earned, 3 hits, struck out 3, faced 9. So we'll see what Zach Button can do here. Fleming had a great day for the Crawdads. He was able to throw 7 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, struck out 8, faced 32. So a good start for the Crawdads out of Ryan Fleming. So the first batter that Button's going to have to face is Tasso Foster. And a tie ball game 3-3 here, and side-arming this up to the plate is Zach Button, who gets a first pitch called strike. The count 0-1 to Tasso Foster, the second baseman for Solano. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout, a ground out. Was also hit by a pitch, a swing and a miss there, and the count 0-2. After Foster, it's Noah Garcia, and then in the hole is Jaden Jones, pending any pinch hitters here. And set, now firing is Button, looking to hit the outer half against the right-handed batting Tasso Foster, who came into this game hitting just 160, so far below 200. His strikeout in the second, one of the 8 that Fleming had today, was a strikeout looking. And the 1-2 pitch here from Button, and this misses just a tad high in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Button, one of these later additions, one of the many later additions that the Crawdads have had this season. Kind of had to build this bullpen on the fly, has manager Brant Cummings, along with the rest of the coaching staff. The 2-2 pitch just misses high and in, a chin check there. And scurrying out of the way is Tasso Foster. The count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the 8th. Payoff pitch from Button to Foster, and missing outside is Button, so he walks the first man he faces. That is the third walk now issued by Crawdads pitchers between the starter Ryan Fleming and now the right-handed pitcher Zach Button. Oh, good job drawing the walk there by Tasso Foster, base runner here. And the top of the eighth, it's 3-3. Crawdads with 4 hits, 2 errors. The Mudcats with 7 hits, no errors. Clean game from them. Here is the lefty hitting Garcia, who hits a pitch foul and ends up behind our broadcast booth here. Count 0-1, the DVB Insurance broadcast booth. Garcia in the second, bounced out, then flew out to center in the fifth, and had an RBI single in the sixth. And going to the opposite field here is Garcia, and that's going to be out of reach of Joey Donnelly. It kicks up around in the corner. It is fair. And the left fielder Donnelly able to get it back in, but it's a stand-up double for Noah Garcia. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Foster advances all the way to third. And Garcia now has a couple of hits in his last 2 at-bats. Nobody out here. And the game tied 3-3. Zach Button already in some hot water. Here's Jaden Jones, the third baseman for the Mudcats. He's grounded out twice, but been on base once in the fifth. That was on an error, Ryan Ellis error. Or no, that was not ruled an error. Is that ruled an error? The Ryan Ellis one.
Ryan Ellis was the dribbler?
The dribbler.
That was a hit.
Oh, so they ruled that a hit. So first pitch here is strike. Now Zach Button had 0-1. And the pitch, and just missing the zone here on the outer corner is Zach Button, and the count 1-1. Button is a very interesting delivery. Doesn't really get too far off of the rubber, but really whips that right arm. And the 1-1 pitch upcoming here to Jones. Here it is, and Jones just out in front of this and pulls it too much, and it lands in the bullpen of the Mudcats. The count 1-2.
Definitely a strikeout situation. You know that's what Button is looking for here.
Strikeout or maybe a laser right over to Ellis or one of the other infielders, but strikeout preferable here, or pop out. The 1-2 pitch, and this is high, and it actually is a swinging strike. Miss the throw over to the covering Button at home plate, and they're not able to get the sliding Tasso Foster. It is now 4-3. The Mudcats up by a run. The third strike dropped there by McKenna. He wisely tried to throw to the covering Zach Button, but the tag not there in time. A pass ball there, and a run scored for Solano. Tough way to concede, to cede a run. And now runners on the corners. So a strikeout swinging there, but able to advance to first is Jaden Jones, and a run comes home.
Just a terrible break for the Crawdads.
That is a backbreaker there for sure. Over at first now is Jones. At third is Noah Garcia. Jackson Bates in the batter's box. And pitch misses away. So, and the worst part about that is the Crawdads, who think they're going to get an out on the strikeout, don't get that.
Right, it's a single, and it feels like an RBI single.
It's an RBI single. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Pitch here. This is foul tipped back into the screen, and the count 1-1. Foster just coming around to score. It is 4-3 Mudcats. Garcia over at third. Jones over at first. Bates is over 3 with hat trick of K's. The 1-1 pitch, and the runner from first takes off, and having a second base is Jaden Jones. So now 2 runners in scoring position, still nobody out here. And the count 2-1. Button, who mentioned has been pretty solid in his 3 previous appearances. Sub-4 ERA. A little bit of trouble here, actually a lot of trouble, but he gets a swing and a miss there. A fastball high in the zone, probably above the zone, and the count 2-2.
Unfortunately for Button, barring an extremely rare triple play in this situation, he's going to have to face at least Michael Benavides, most likely Kenny DeSalle as well.
2-2 pitch to Bates. Bates pops this up high, but it ends up behind the DVB Insurance broadcast booth. Count stays at 2-2. The Crawdads, as you mentioned earlier, Austin, every time they come back to tie things up, it seems like just a moment or a handful of moments later, the Mudcats strike back. Dirty Fish here to play. The 2-2 pitch, a big swing and a miss, and McKenna not letting this one get by him. And there's one away. So here comes Michael Benavides after the strikeout of Jackson Bates. So Bates, 4 strikeouts. And Button gets a very important out number 1 here in the top of the 8th, but the Mudcats lead by a run. Tasso Foster coming around to score on a drop 3rd strike against Jaden Jones. So here's Benavides, 1 for 4 with a home run, and the first pitch to Benavides misses. Count 1-0.
Couple 3 strikeout games, but this is the first 4 strikeout game of the summer for Jackson Bates.
Oh, comes in, and oh boy, that gets Benavides. And you could hear that on the on-field mic. That was a tough pitch to take, and the bases are loaded.
Well, now it sets up the double play ball. Of course, you don't want to hit someone in that situation.
No,
You'd rather a walk, but Kenny DeSalle might be the hardest guy in this lineup to double up. The corners are going to be in, at least first base with Duroff. I think Alice trusting his arm a little more, but the middle, you know, is going to try to turn 2.
Wind blowing in, outfield playing standard depth. And the pitch to DeSalle, he goes right after it, hits this high, but that's going to land past the dugout of the Crawdads, out of play. And the count 0-1. Duroff was right up there, very far in on the infield, the first baseman Duroff. We've seen the Crawdads turn a multitude of different types of double plays this season. Zach Button really needs one here. There's one away. Count 0-1 to DeSalle, who's 2 for 4. Had a double as well, came around to score earlier. In the 4th, the pitch from Button, and painting the outside black to the righty DeSalle is Zach Button, and the count 0-2. Zach Button trying to bite down and get through a very, very challenging situation. 3 runs for the Crawdads as this pitch is popped up high on the infield and not caught there by Putz, but doesn't matter. It's an out nonetheless. Infield fly in effect. There's 2 away now.
I think the worst part about that is
The worst part is that Putz,
well, not even on that play, but if the drop 3rd strike doesn't happen, and of course butterfly effect, but if we go, you know, that same order, strike out, hit by pitch, pop out, the inning's over without a run.
Inning's over without a run. So the second worst thing is that Putz, who even tried to make a catch there, dropped it. Santander takes a strike here from Zach Button. Crawdads with 3 runs. Mudcats up by 1. They have 4. They have the bases loaded here.
Good thing for Jude Putz, though, he doesn't get credited for an error
Doesn't
there.
get credited for an error. Maybe, you know, also giving Jude the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he realized the infield fly rule was in effect a little late there. 0-1 pitch and missing just a bit low. Looking for the outer portion of the plate was Button. 1-1 pitch to Santander, and this is hit very high. Going back is the second baseman Corio, now calling him off in shallow right field is Casey Cummings, who has it for out number 3. So the base is loaded there, but 1 run does come across the score. Tasso Foster, who got on as the leadoff hitter in the top of the 8th, drew a walk and came around to score after a drop third strike. Jaden Jones was in the batter's box there. So it's been the kind of game it has been for the Crawdads today. They trail by 1. It is 4-3 Mudcats here. Bottom of the 8th coming up when we return. More Crawdads baseball after the break here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 8th inning. Brian DeRoff going to lead things off 4, 5, and 6 for the Crawdads, who are down by a run. It's 4-3 Solano here in Danville, California. DeRoff 0 for 3 this afternoon. Crawdads lost their last game right before the All-Star break. Looking to avoid going on a losing streak here. Very small lead over the Lincoln Potters in the standings. Banks still on the mound, and DeRoff hits this over to the third baseman, Jones, who makes a low throw over to Garcia, who bends down to pick this up off the hop at first. And it gets DeRoff. That's the second time we've seen Noah Garcia over there. Look a little. That one was tough. That was a tough bounce to field, but instead of stretching out and picking it, he kind of goes down to a knee to field it. We've seen him do that a couple of times, Austin.
That was a nice play. It's that in-between hop, too big to be a long hop, or too short to be a long hop, too long to be a short hop. Garcia able to pluck it out.
Here comes Kavares Tears. He's already tied this game up once today with a home run back in the 6th. Was robbed by Benavidez in the 1st. Lined out in the 4th to the shortstop, Wood. Pitch to the lefty, Tears, and that's in there for a strike. The count 0-1. Banks now 24 strikes, 5 balls. Just pounding the zone, but misses here, a bit in, and the count even a ball and a strike.
I'm surprised they aren't using Chase Banks out of the rotation to start the second half.
The 1-1 pitch, and Tears under this, a high pop-up, high, over on the third base side, and Jones has it just a few steps away from third base for out number 2. So the third baseman, Jones, just had to take a couple of steps in and really just have to wait on that ball to come down. Maybe fight the sun a little bit.
Gave it a vicious swing. Did Kavares Tears, just got well under it.
Even when Tears pops up, he hits it far, just straight up. Here's Joey Donnelly, who was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. The first pitch to Donnelly runs in a bit, but called a strike. The count 0-1. In the 4th, he grounded out. He struck out looking in the 6th. Donnelly kind of backed up there.
It was low and in.
Yeah, low and in. Righty Banks delivers, and Donnelly hitting this to left field near the foul line. Coming in to try to make the play is Benavidez, the left fielder, but it lands in foul territory, and Benavidez just didn't have enough in the Jets there to get after that ball. The count 0-2.
So another life for Joey Donnelly, who's going to try to take advantage of that here. This would be a good time for him to turn it around.
It would. It would. Try showing off some of that pull side power. He can go to center and left field as well, though. Still stuck on 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. The 0-2 pitch to Donnelly, and he takes in, and a bit low as well, and the count 1-2. Got to take that pitch if you're Donnelly, even if a very similar pitch was called a strike earlier in this at-bat. On deck, Andrew McKenna. The 1-2 pitch, and this is fouled away. Count stays 1-2. The Mudcats lead by a run. It's 4-3 Solano. Seen a couple of big blasts today. One from Benavidez, his first home run of the summer. Kavares Tears collecting his 4th home run of the summer for the Crawdads. The 1-2 pitch to Donnelly, and this skips off the plate up to Trey Topping, and the count 2-2.
To give you an idea of how long it's been since Joey Donnelly's really been swinging the bat, the game that Donnelly was robbed of a home run in right field was his last game with 2 hits.
2-2 pitch to Donnelly. It has been a long time as this breaks the bat, but he hits it high into center field, but right at the center fielder, Kenny DeSalle, who jogs in to make the catch. So not only an out, but Joey Donnelly is going to need a new weapon there if he comes up to bat again. So after 8, it is 4-3 Solano over the Walnut Creek Crawdads. Top of the 9th coming up, and the Crawdads going to need to try to get through a scoreless top of the 9th here, and they'll have their last shot at it in the bottom of the 9th. But Zach Button going to have to be good here. He's already let 1 run come in. We'll see what he can do in the top of the 9th. Crawdads down by a run. 4-3 Mudcats here from Danville, California on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 9th inning from Danville, California at beautiful Monte Vista High School. The Crawdads down by a run. It's 4-3 Solano. The Mudcats have had all the answers today. There's still a little bit of time left for the Crawdads here, but Zach Buttons are going to have to get through 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup of the Mudcats. Trey Topping, Jared Wood, then Tasso Foster. Button delivers a first pitch strike here. And the count 0-1. Topping is into a double play, had a sacrifice fly for an RBI. So had a hit in the 6th, and he hits a high bouncer here, but it is foul. Coming to charge it was the third baseman, Ryan Ellis. But he had a hit in the 6th and then walked in the 7th. The count 0-2 to Trey Topping. Brant Cummings, the manager of the Crawdads, hopes that he doesn't have to take Button out here as this ball is hit high into right center, and shuffling over to make the catch is Coleman Schmidt, the center fielder. Calling off Casey Cummings was Schmidt. And there's one out here in the top of the ninth. So in a 4-3 ball game that Solano leads, here comes a shortstop, Jared Wood.
Shortstop, Jared Wood.
Wood struck out in the second, then had a hit to right in the fourth. Flew out in the sixth, popped out in the seventh. And the first pitch is popped up very high on the right side of the infield. First baseman Droff looking at it and has it about 5 feet behind the first base bag for out number 2. Oh, good job by Zach Button, who had a lot of trouble to deal with in his first inning of work, and quickly here, 2 away.
Nice start to the second inning of work for Button. I'm sure he would like to get off the field as soon as possible. Get Tasso Foster right here.
Oh, here is Tasso Foster, who walked in the 8th. And this pitch fouled away in the count 0-1. Foster was able to come around and score after drop third strike from McKenna. Crawdads trail by a run, 4-3. Button looking to keep it that way, and he comes in and hits Foster right on the elbow. Looking to come inside there was Button, and he plunks Foster. Noah Garcia going to step in. Doubled in his last at-bat in the 8th. Also has an RBI single in the 6th. He's 2 for 4. Foster's been on base 3 times, twice being hit by pitches. Once by Fleming and now once by Zach Button. So these Crawdads pitchers not too nice to Tasso Foster. First pitch here to Garcia is chopped over to the second baseman. Corio flips on to the covering Putz at second base for out number 3. So after hitting Tasso Foster, Button able to roll up a ground ball there for the 3rd out. And it is still 4-3 Mudcats. Bottom of the 9th. The Crawdads' last chance to at least try to tie it up. Coming up here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 9th inning. It is 4-3 Mudcats. The Crawdads have a chance here. Still Chase Banks on the mound. Stapleton pitched 5 innings. Banks trying to finish off the 9th here. McKenna in the box and takes a big rip and misses here. The count 0-1 to McKenna. It's McKenna, Cummings, and Putz, 7, 8, and 9 for the Crawdads.
Not necessarily the part of the lineup you want to inspire a comeback in the last 3 hitters.
0-1 pitch, and McKenna goes down almost on a knee here to try to golf at this one, but comes up empty, and the count 0-2. It's tough when you're down by a run and got to send the bottom third of the order up. The 0-2 pitch to McKenna, and he swings at one in the dirt. Topping has it, throws over to first, and plenty of time to get McKenna. So 3 pitches, and McKenna is dealt with. Banks has been great thus far out of the bullpen in relief. of the starter, Stapleton. He's at 31 strikes to just 8 balls. And here is Casey Cummings. Pitch to Cummings, a swinging strike on a pitch high and outside of the zone, and the count 0-1. Crawdads chasing the tying run. It is 4-3 Solano. The 0-1 pitch to Cummings, and he takes low, and the count 1-1. Seen that call to strike a couple of times today, but not that time. And the 1-1 pitch to Cummings, and he swings through a breaking ball there, and the count 1-2.
Crawdads need one guy on. One guy on to get it started.
Cummings is 0 for 3. Needs to get on base for the Dads. The 1-2 pitch, and he swing and miss there from Cummings, and he actually loses the bat all the way to the backstop, and that is a tough swinging strikeout there. Not only are you punched out, but you lose the lumber. Will not be Jude Putz as the last chance for the Crawdads. It's going to be Joe Barnhart. Well, Barnhart, if the Crawdads are able to tie this thing up, and he will stay in the game, he'll probably move over to third. Ellis will move over to short. Jude Putz's day is over, 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. And the first pitch to Barnhart, and he swings at a pitch outside, and the count 0-1. Manager Cummings just trying to find something, trying to find a spark for this team right now. And the count 0-1 to Barnhart, and he jams this foul, and it hits right over near the dugout and on deck circle of the Crawdads, almost near Coleman Schmidt. He was able to get out of the way. The Crawdads down by a run. It's 4-3. The count 0-2 with 2 away to Joe Barnhart. Banks kicks the leg, deals. Barnhart checks his swing, but he does go. And that is a strikeout at a pitch in the dirt. Banks able to strike out the side, 7, 8, and 9 in the bottom of the 9th, and the Crawdads lose by a run to the Solano Mudcats. The final score 4-3. Game started at 4:07, finishes at 6:36. A very quick game today. The Crawdads just couldn't find enough offense and really spoiled a solid start, I thought, from Ryan Fleming, who pitched 7 strong innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs total, 2 runs earned. Did walk 2 and struck out 8, faced 32. Zach Button came on in relief, pitched 2 innings, gave up a hit, a run, which ended up being the winning run, and it was earned. That was on a dropped third strike by McKenna. Walked 1, struck out 2, so Zach Button will get the loss. He now has a loss on the season. He is 0-1 now. The win will go to Chase Banks, who was just immaculate out of the bullpen after Stapleton, the starter, was able to go 5 strong innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walked 3, struck out 3, faced 22. But Chase Banks just gives the Crawdads problems. I mean, not only is he the best pitcher on the Mudcats, but he has just been electric against the Dads. He goes 4 innings out of the bullpen and gives up a hit, 1 run. It is earned. Walks 1, strikes out 6, including 3 in a row to finish this ball game off. So Banks gets the win, and the Crawdads, who before the break were 2-8 in their last 10, are now 1-9 in their last 10 games, taking this game into account. It has been very tough for the Crawdads as of late, ever since that big road trip down south. The Crawdads have just been in a funk, and they're trying to figure it out. Manager Cummings is looking for answers. He's had some guys leave the team because they're getting shut down by their college, but this is a team that just needs to find a positive and really needs to find a positive in the win column. The win for Banks, his 5th of the summer, so he is now 5-0. And just a great job by Chase Banks out of the bullpen for manager Ryan Adams, and a win for the Solano Mudcats. The Mudcats get their 14th win of the summer. They're now 14-20, 12-14 in league play in the North Division. The Crawdads drop a game. They are now 20-17 overall, 13-12 in North Division play. Tasso Foster is the man who comes around to score the winning run for the Mudcats on a drop third strike from McKenna. Mudcats got started early with a solo shot from Michael Benavides, his first home run of the summer, of the season for the Mudcats, and that was on the very first pitch of the game from Ryan Fleming. Final line score today, the Mudcats 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. The Crawdads 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. Errors really hurting the Crawdads today. And for the Crawdads, they drop a game, and the standings are just so tight now in the CCL North. If they weren't tight before, they definitely are here. The Potters are now tied in second place with the Crawdads. Both 5.5 games back of Healdsburg, who is not in CCL North play today. They're taking on the West Coast Kings. The Mudcats now 7 games back in fourth place, and Sonoma 12 games back in last. So still anybody's second place for the taking there. And the Crawdads, after just being so hot, are 3-7 in their last 10 in division. And just looking for answers. Walnut Creek want to update you on the scores around the league. San Luis Obispo Blues in the top of the 9th at Cal Lutheran are tied 3-3 with the Caneo Oaks. Close game there. The Barons from Compton, California are playing at Pershing Park. They're ahead 1-0 against the Santa Barbara Foresters in the bottom of the second. The West Coast Kings and the Prune Packers in Healdsburg in the bottom of the third, still scoreless. And Arnold's Field in Sonoma, the Lincoln Potters and the Stompers, a little bit of a rivalry there. It is scoreless. And the Arroyo Seco Saints just started things with the OC Riptide, the Saints on the road at the Great Park in Irvine, California. That's 0-0. So the Crawdads drop one today, the first game outside of the All-Star break. They'll be in action again tomorrow on Saturday. And that game will be at 6:35 against the Lincoln Potters. So there is a chance that the Crawdads will not be tied for second, depending on what the Potters do tonight against the Stompers. So we will see. Crawdads probably rooting for the Stompers to try to get one over on the Potters. But the next game tomorrow, we'll have that for you from McBean Park in Lincoln, California. Game at 6:35, and hopefully the Crawdads can get back on track. The final line score one last time for you today. The Crawdads lose 4-3. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Mudcats. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Crawdads. The game started at 4:07 on just a picturesque day in Danville, California. Not a cloud in the sky, a slight breeze, 82 degrees. And the game finished at 6:36, so the final time of game, 2 hours and 29 minutes. Want to thank everybody for joining us on the broadcast today. Crawdads lose it, but a close game and a fun one to watch for Austin Oda. I'm Alon to say, and we'll see everybody tomorrow at 6:35 p.m. from McBean Park in Lincoln, California on the Crawdads Streaming Network.